neighbors, Eric, Perry Hill Farms. We recently had a few people are commenting on the chicken coop, and one lady was asking questions about how I did the water and the feeder and all that stuff. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about that, but while we're here real quick, we'll go ahead and get the eggs.
Collect the eggs.
Yeah.
Got any down here?
So,
Oh,
I think
that's
all.
it. That's all the girls gave us.
We got
Girls?
well, the daylight's getting shorter,
I know it's getting shorter.
but we've still been getting 6, 7 a day right now.
Yep.
But anyways, so I have a video that I actually did when my wife said, I want a chicken coop. And when I built it, it was during the initial COVID.
We didn't have a YouTube channel then.
And we didn't have a YouTube channel then.
And that's Virgil.
And that's Virgil, the rooster. But since we were shut down out of work at that time, it gave me some time to do some projects out here, and one of them was building the chicken coop. So in that, the video is going to give you a tour of the coop, so you'll see that later. But right now, I want to go to the specific question the lady had about the water and the feeders. So the waterer, I didn't want to have to come out and actually have to fill them up with water every day. So a 55-gallon drum that I can fill right here, and it gravity feeds into this and runs under, and it's got some nipples. And those nipples can be changed out. And actually I probably need to change one. You can see I got a little black trough under there, and that just catches any residual drip. You can see it's constantly dripping now. When they hit it just right, it doesn't stop. And usually those things are supposed to stop and leave a little drip of water, and then they'll come to it. But that little black tray keeps the ground from getting wet and smelling. If you let it stay wet under there, it starts to stink.
Ooh, yep. I don't know if you've ever smelt a wet chicken coop.
So that little black trough, it doesn't drip enough that it won't evaporate. So, but I can fill this up and they can drink on that for a month before I have to really refill it. We keep about 24 chickens in there. And so that was easy to do. You just have to get a 55-gallon drum. You get a screw piece of PVC that goes into it, and then the other side you just leave open. You can fill it with water, and you can add, whatever you need to the water. If you want to add something for them, nutrition-wise, but they're eating on some greens right now. All right, now the feeder is, as I mentioned in the video, is a gravity feeder, and basically we use a 45 angle. It's hard to see it here, but this is a 45 angle with an end stop on it. So it's glued on the end, and it comes to a 45 angle.
You can kind of see it.
Yeah.
I can see it
And so
up there. Let me see.
here's what right there is the 45 angle.
You can see right there, yeah.
And then I took a cap. You'll show me. Come up to me. I took a cap, and on that 45 angle, as it comes down and it angles up, I took a cap and cut it in half. That way the chickens can get only to a small area. It decreases the waste of feed, if that makes sense. You'll see a little bit here on the ground from where I pour it. Sometimes it overflows, but inside the coop, you don't see a lot of waste of feed. If you pour it out on the ground or you leave an open feeder, they'll waste a lot of it. Here, they'll peck out of that hole, and about every 3 days I have to fill this up, and I keep them fed every 3 days. I fill it right back up, and they constantly have feed. And I fill it all the way up this tube, and I leave a cap on it so no water gets in it. I actually did this little rug here to keep water from, if it gets rain and windy, to keep water from getting in there, and that's worked out well. It's kind of rigged, but it works good. But you can do as many of those as you want, depending on how many chickens and how big your coop is. You can do 2 or 3, and I just do it out here, and I keep me a can with feed. It stays dry. Once my can gets low, I just refill it, and then I use a scoop and scoop them and fill it up. And then I keep a brick in there that we put flock blocks that have a little bit of oyster shells, those type of stuff in there. I'll sometimes mix oyster shells in the feed as well. And we let them free range some, depending on the garden situation. You know, if we have stuff planted, we don't want them scratching it all up. We leave them in here, and then sometimes we let them free range. Get a little video.
And here goes the feeder from inside, where they can get feed. We're up under the chicken coop.
All right, so if you'll watch the following video, this was the video I made about 2 years ago when I built the coop, and was just showing it off to my friends and family, honestly. But watch that video, you'll get a tour of the coop. The only reason we're redoing this is people have been asking questions. And it'll tell you a little history about the coop too.
Absolutely.
Right? So,
do you have any more suggestions?
Yeah, if you have any suggestions or
questions,
it was my first true chicken coop build, so it's worked great so far. No problems with animals getting in it, and chickens seem to like it. So, all right. Simple life is what? What do y'all say, ladies?
Much more enjoyable life.
Much more enjoyable.
That's right. It's a much more enjoyable life. So we're gonna go eat us some supper.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
God bless.
God bless you.
All right, I've had a lot of people asking me about our chicken coop. It's complete today, and I'll give you a little tour. Just to give you a history of it, it was actually an old wood holder for James. My father-in-law has passed away, and she told me we could have the frame of it. So I took the frame of it, and with some help of my neighbors, Kyle Watts, and my brother-in-law, Eric Batwell, and my family, we started piddling with this thing. This is the inside of the coop. We made it with just some old boards from an old dog pen, and put some cedar roosts, and we have a big floor. I have a place to catch the droppings with a tray, and I'll show you that. But they got their exit hole to go into the chicken run, and I have my nesting boxes on the side, and so you can see that from inside. And on the back side, we have access to the chicken. I'll put some litter in there and catch poop, and it'll be easy to use for compost. And then when I'm done, I just slide it back in. We just close that. We just use an old metal hopper there, and this is our nesting boxes. So we'll be able to, check for eggs. And these things are removable. Kyle showed me that. It'd be easier if I have to deal with any kind of snakes that get in it. But simple design. And then we did automated waters, that tank, 55-gallon tank that runs up under with nipples under there, and that allows the chickens just to get their water, and they don't have to water them but once a couple months maybe. And we have our chicken run, and we hung some cedar limbs in there as well for them to roost on. Got them a little chicken swing. They can just jump up there and swing if they want to. We've got a door to the run if we need to get in and get under the coop, work on the waters, or if we have a chicken problem we've got to deal with. And then on the front, we built 2 feeders. These feeders are gravity fed, and we'll be able to put feed in there. And got it kind of sealed off around it so water don't get in them. And then we had a spare window hanging around the house we put in just for more airflow. We got vents at the top, but we can actually let this window down if we want some more airflow in the hot summertime. If not, we'll leave it up. And you can also come in and see if the hens are laying on the nesting boxes. And we framed up everything underneath so that we doubled the size of the run under the coop, built it off the ground, and that gives us plenty of run room for our chickens. And took us a little over a week every afternoon piddling on it, but my wife wanted a chicken house. I gave her a chicken house.